What's going on, everybody? You back rocking with your boy Sweet Science. You're on the air. Subscribe to the channel, beat the like button up, make sure you hit the bell icon for all your post notifications, because we're gonna talk about it. Now, I'm sure y'all saw the title of this video. Errol Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas for Yordenis Ugas' WBA belt, or the other way around for Errol Spence's IBF belt, which he lifted off of Kell Brook, and his WBC belt, which he lifted off of Shawn Porter. So this gets us one step closer to Undisputed at welterweight. So that's a good thing. You know, certain fighters are blocked. If not blocked, a lot of obstacles are put in their way to becoming undisputed, and other fighters have easier paths. But with that being said, we got Errol Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas, and I just wanted to talk about the fight and share my opinions on it. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on Ugas. Ugas is a lot better fighter than a lot of people give him credit for, and will admit. You know, Ugas beat Shawn Porter to me, and I've never been one to say things just to go along with the narrative, because if that were the case, you know, I'd be pro a lot of fighters. You know what I'm saying? I just say what is on my heart and what I think. So, with that being said, you know, I feel like Ugas beat Porter when he fought him. I remember actually watching that fight over my mother's house, and I was so pissed. I was like, you know, I'm not sure if that was 2018 or 2019. I don't remember really. I know it was one of those two, but I was so pissed. And I remember my mom had a company over, and you know, they were a couple of them were watching the fight, and we were just watching. And I'm looking at them like, yo, is he talking about Shawn Porter? I'm like, is he winning this fight to y'all? So they're all like, no. You know what I'm saying? But the way they was talking about it on the scorecards, it was just, I don't know, it was weird. I feel like, you know, they robbed Ugas in that fight. And Ugas, and a lot of people feel the same as well. You know, if you go to Ugas' Instagram before he became champion, for lifting the WBA belt off of iconic legend Manny Pacquiao, you know, Ugas shared his thoughts and opinions on that Shawn Porter fight a lot, and he feels like he won. If you look at Ugas' face after they, you know, said Shawn Porter was still champion, he looked like he couldn't believe it. He looked like he was in disbelief, and I do believe that he did win that fight. But nevertheless, they didn't give it to him. You know how boxing is. You know how boxing goes. They didn't give it to him. And side note, Merry Christmas, by the way, everybody. So y'all know this is a current, up-to-date video. Merry Christmas, by the way. But, you know, y'all know how boxing is. They didn't give Ugas the nod when he should have gotten it. So he had to move on. He came back and beat, I think, Omar Figueroa. Yeah, because Brandon, I think, is the smaller one. I think he beat Omar Figueroa. And, you know, my daughter, me and my girl were in the hospital when Ugas fought Omar Figueroa. And, like, that, he beat his ass so bad. Like, and the Figueroas got scraps. Like, they ain't nobody to sleep on. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Ugas beat his ass. And I remember my girl, I was just getting her into boxing around that time. And I remember, you know, she's having contractions, but we're still watching this fight. Like, that's what type of boxing fans we are, you know what I'm saying? So my girl is like having contractions, and we still watching this fight. And I remember her saying, like, you know, why don't they just stop this fight? Because Ugas was beating Omar Figueroa's ass, bro. Like, it did look like at a certain point, like, there's no point letting this continue. But I respect Omar Figueroa. I like the Figueroas. They're real, true warriors to me. You know, and they got heart. So, you know, no matter what, like, that's one thing that we get away from in boxing. Like, you know, if motherfuckers got heart and they, you know, and they put their best foot forward every time, if they come up short, then they come up short. This is boxing, you know what I'm saying? You can't win them all, I guess, unless you Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? But I got my gripes about that. That's a whole nother video, right there. But, so, you know, he beat the hell out of Omar Figueroa. And, you know, he built himself back up to get, he was actually on the undercard. I don't remember who he was going to fight. On the undercard of what was supposed to be Pacquiao Spence. But we all know how the story goes. Spence got the eye injury, the torn retina. I actually, I'm not saying I was the first to report that or nothing, but I got a video on my channel where I was talking about that. So Spence got the torn retina, and, you know, so Spence was out. And enter Ugas. And, you know, a lot of people, I'm not even going to say real boxing fans, because real boxing fans still didn't. A lot of people did not give Ugas a shot to beat Manny Pacquiao. I was up in the air about it. I'm not going to say I was like, Ugas is going to win this. I'm not going to say I was like, Pacquiao's going to win this, because, you know, I think Ugas is a better, I think Ugas is a better fighter than Keith Thurman. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I feel like Ugas is a better fighter than Keith Thurman. And, you know, so I didn't think that Pacquiao was going to do the same job to him that he did to Thurman. And mind you, the Thurman fight, that was at 2019. You know what I'm saying? So you know, like, I know that Pacquiao's a little bit older, and not a lot older, but you got to understand, once you're around that age that Pacquiao's at, every year counts. Every year counts, versus like a 28, 29-year-old, 25, 26-year-old, you know, from the year of him being 25 to 26, he ain't gonna decline. If anything, he might incline, you know what I'm saying? But when a fighter is already in their 40s, you know what I'm saying, every year it counts. He's gonna look a lot different at 41 than he did at 40. You know what I'm saying? So that was another thing I took into account, like, you know, and I know they say that Cubans are old. I don't know how old Yordenis Ugas is, but I do know he's not as old as Manny Pacquiao. But with that being said, I still didn't know who was going to win that, because Manny Pacquiao's a live dog. He's been a dog his whole career, and I respect him and farewell, and I was sad to see him go, you know what I'm saying, because the sport is going to miss Manny Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying? So I was sad to see him go. And I like to see fighters go out with a dub if they do retire. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I can't ask Manny to, you know, put himself through that again. He is at an older age. And not only that, boxing is a brutal sport, as you know. Boxing is more dangerous than the UFC, to me. And the reason being is because boxing, you know, their striking is 1,000 times more potent and deadly than UFC fighters. Their striking. You know what I'm saying? Because the UFC, it's called MMA. That stands for mixed martial arts. Mix. A mix being a plethora of things. You know what I'm saying? So when they train for a plethora of things. You know, standing, striking, kicking, fucking wrestling, capoeira, kung fu, submissions, wrestling, you know what I'm saying, takedowns, ground and pound. They train for all of that shit. That's why it's called mixed martial arts. And I'm not trying to, like, disrespect mixed martial arts, because them niggas is savages. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying boxing is a lot different. You know what I'm saying? In boxing, they not doing you're gonna be better at something if you do more specifically of that. Boxing, they specialize in striking. That's why UFC fighters don't even defend themselves. Like, they don't even block like boxers do. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, in the UFC, those gloves that they wear in the UFC, those gloves are not made to protect the other fighter. They're made only to protect their hands, and that's because they're striking. They're not striking like boxers. In boxing, their gloves are made to protect the other fighter. That's how. My bad. That's how deadly boxers are at striking. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, boxing is just more deadly. A mixed martial artist, you know, in training for a fight, or even in not training for a fight, might throw 1,000 punches a day, whereas a boxer might throw 10,000 punches a day. So just their muscle memory alone, and when it comes to striking with the hands, is going to be entirely different. It's going to be way different. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you got to take these things into account. So again, I was sad to see Manny Pacquiao go, but I understand it, and I wish the senator, you know, much luck and much success on his endeavors. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, back to the 147-pound division. You know, I don't think Bud is ducking Errol. I don't think Errol is ducking Bud, but I do think Bud clearly, according to Bomac, had a few opportunities where he could have fought Errol, and they just chose not to do that. You know what I'm saying? That would have made more sense in Bud reaching out first to fight Errol, because, you know, Bud talking about he needs 50-50 for that fight. You know, the only way I can see Errol giving him 50-50, because I know how bad Errol wants to be undisputed. So the only way I could see Errol giving him 50-50 is if he lifts that belt off of Ugas and Errol is just like, you know what, man, fuck it. Like, I'm trying to be undisputed, and if he got the last piece of the puzzle, then fuck it. Motherfucker, I'll give you 50-50 just so I can beat your ass and take this belt off you. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, nobody will ever get 50-50 with me ever again in the welterweight division. You know what I'm saying? So I could see Errol just being like, fuck it, and just giving, you know, Bud what he wants as far as, you know, the purse split for that fight. Now, with that being said, I don't want to sit here and act like and say it's a given thing that Errol is going to beat Ugas, which leads me back to the point of the video. I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion that Errol Spence is going to beat Ugas. I'm not saying Errol can't beat Ugas. I'm not saying Ugas can't beat Errol, but here's what I know. Most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, this is the logic that I use when making my decision on a fight. Characteristics, habits, skills, toughness. These are all things I take into account. Power, speed, you know, power and speed is one usually a lot of people take into account, but I think I take a lot of things into account that people don't take into account. For example, you know, when I picked George Kambosos, and I don't even think I made a video about it, but I did tell my homeboy Christian Thomas I could have him come on the channel for y'all, and he'll tell you, yeah, he did say that. When they rescheduled that fight between Teofimo and Kambosos, that first time, and they did that face-off, just Kambosos' energy to me, the way he was staring into Teofimo's eyes, and I don't know, come on, man, no, we don't do that here, no homo, you know what I'm saying, but the way he was staring into Teofimo's eyes, he wasn't afraid of him. And when you have someone who's not afraid of someone and they're going to get into a physical combat situation, man, listen, you know, fear is a hell of a thing. It could destroy you, or you could use it. You know what I'm saying? But Kambosos had no fear, and Teofimo didn't seem 100% sure of himself, and that is when I was like, yeah, he's gonna beat him. Like Mike Tyson used to tell you when he would look into his opponent's eyes when they would do the face-off, and if you looked away for a second, then he knew he got you. So it's just little subtle things like that I pay attention to. So with that being said, I feel like Ugas is a very great technical fighter. Ugas is a very, very great technical fighter, and so, I mean, so is Errol, but I think Errol is really great at the basics. I've never seen, like, for example, I'll give you an example. When Tank knocked out Leo Santa Cruz, that uppercut he hit him with, the timing of it, how he did it, the power in it, that's not a common uppercut. You know, a common type of uppercut. You don't really see that uppercut a lot in boxing. Not everybody can pull that punch off, because it's like, it's not even just a regular, like, no. He waited for the punch, came around it, came under it, and put so much power and force in the uppercut coming up. Boy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is not an easy punch to do. So, you know, that is like, that's not a basic punch. That's my point. And I've never seen Errol uppercut somebody like that. I'm not saying I've never seen Errol uppercut. You know, motherfuckers hop in the comments, oh, you've never seen something such happen? Yes, I've seen Errol uppercut a lot of motherfuckers, but not like the way Tank did that uppercut versus Leo Santa Cruz. No, I've never seen Errol Spence uppercut a motherfucker like that. You know what I'm saying? So Errol's very good at the basics, and I feel like Ugas is just fucking actually phenomenal. If Ugas had more power, a lot of motherfuckers would be in trouble if Ugas had more power. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this. In the fight with Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas, it's going to go one of two ways. Either Errol Spence is going to stop. Well, you know what? I lied. I can't say one of two. It's really one of three ways, but okay, because Yordenis Ugas is not stopping Errol Spence. So if you predicted that or you have that in mind, get that shit off the table. I can fucking guarantee you that's not going to happen. Yordenis Ugas is not stopping Errol Spence, so that is out the window. Stopping and knocking somebody out are two totally different things, so he's definitely not knocking Spence out. I don't think Errol is knocking Ugas out. I think he could stop Ugas, and more than likely that should be Errol and his camp's best course of action, best plan, and his best defense, because Ugas is so technical that if he's on his shit all night, he could beat Errol in a decision. Now, it's like the only mistake to me that Ugas makes is when Ugas is fighting somebody and he gets in, you could tell, like, you can see when somebody's in the zone in anything, whether it be basketball, football, boxing, playing an instrument. You know when somebody's in the zone. And when Ugas does his thing, when he gets in his zone, he shuffles a lot. He kind of like, it's like he be feeling himself, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes fighters take advantage of that, either by attacking when he does that or staying away from him, to where it's looking like he could have been more active. He left room for activity, you know what I'm saying? So I just hope if he doesn't start feeling himself and really stays locked in, like, if I beat this motherfucker, I got 3 belts, bro. Like, if he stays in that zone and Errol's not able to knock him out, it's a very good chance that Ugas could win a decision off of his boxing skill. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if it doesn't go to decision, the only person that's going to do the stopping is Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Because Errol is a dog. Like, Errol, he don't let you breathe. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be that's gonna be an action-packed ass fight. It's gonna be a good fight. We probably gonna be surprised a couple times in that fight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think Errol's best bet is to stop Ugas, which is probably easier said than done. Because I don't know if Ugas has been stopped before. I know he's lost, but I don't know if he's been stopped. So yeah, man, that's my prediction for the fight. Either Errol Spence Jr. is gonna stop Yordenis Ugas, or it's going to go to decision. And if it does go to decision, it's a very good motherfucking chance that Yordenis Ugas could beat Errol Spence. And if Yordenis Ugas beats Errol Spence, man, I'm sure they'll probably have a rematch, which would be huge. But first of all, if Yordenis Ugas beats Errol Spence, we got to start talking about and looking at Yordenis Ugas in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to, like, y'all not putting a lot of y'all motherfuckers still ain't putting respect on his name right now. Y'all act like Errol cherry picking. How the fuck is he cherry picking a motherfucker who beat Manny Pacquiao? And you could say Manny Pacquiao was old. I don't give a fuck. Manny Pacquiao was old when he beat motherfucking Keith Thurman, and you can't sit up here and say Keith Thurman was no slouch, because first of all, this was a unified champion. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point in time, and on top of the fact that he was a unified champion, he was undefeated when he fought Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman ain't never, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman has always been respected. So, you know, aside from his injuries, but I'm talking about in the ring. You know what I'm saying? We seen a couple times, you know, he showed some flaws, like when he almost got knocked out by Jose Cito Lopez. I remember that shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but that's a whole nother story. So, you know, Manny Pacquiao was old when he fought Keith Thurman and beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? Put him down in the first or the second round. Manny Pacquiao was old when he fought Adrian Broner. Now, you can talk shit about Adrian Broner all you want to, but your favorite fighter could probably learn a thing or two and get like Adrian Broner, because Adrian Broner ain't never ducked no smoke. A lot of y'all favorite fighters duck smoke. Now, you know what I'm saying? This is my video, you know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all favorite fighters done duck smoke and do duck smoke. Adrian Broner don't duck no smoke. Win, lose, or draw, you know what I'm saying? So put some respect on Adrian Broner's name, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no slouch. I say AB's like if you call him a C-class fighter, you don't know shit about boxing, and please get the fuck off my channel. I don't need your view. You know what I'm saying? If you think AB's a C-class fighter. So I would say Adrian Broner's a B-class fighter. You know what I'm saying? And if he's on his A game, any given night, AB could be an A-class fighter, because we have seen fights probably, you know, probably years removed now, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have it in him. Because if you could do it once, you could do the shit again. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen if Adrian Broner is right. I mean, he should have beat Jesse Vargas when he fought him. That wasn't no fucking draw. AB beat that dude. You know what I'm saying? So if A's on this shit and he's focused, bro, Adrian Broner can be an A-class fighter. You know what I'm saying? So Pacquiao beat him when he was old. You know what I mean? So, you know, quit sleeping on Yordenis Ugas. Put some respect on his name. He beat Manny Pacquiao. Y'all acting like Errol Spence is cherry picking by fighting a champion. Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? This is a great fight. And then after this, the last piece of the puzzle is going to be Bud. And if y'all remember correctly, if memory serves me correctly, Errol Spence specifically said 2.5 years ago, I'm going to clean up my side of the street. A lot of y'all don't get that. A lot of y'all act like that's cap. But Bob Arum then told y'all before that Devin Haney will never get the Lomachenko shot because he signed with the wrong promoter. So that is telling you right there from one of the biggest promoters in boxing that there are sides of the street. So with that being said, Errol Spence is with the PBC. That's Al Heyman. So he said he was going to clean up his side of the street first. Now, it took him a little bit longer than expected because he had the car accident and then he had the torn retina. I think this might have been sped up. You know what I'm saying? Had that not happened. But nevertheless, he got that WBC belt, and now on his side of the street, one of the belts is still there with Yordenis Ugas. So why not do that fight first when he said he was going to do that? And then after he does that, the last piece of the puzzle is on the other side of the street, if he still has it at that time, is Terrence Bud motherfucking Crawford. And that's right now the biggest fight in boxing. So Errol is doing exactly what he told you he was going to do. That's called keeping your word. I know a lot of y'all motherfuckers, you know, masculinity is scarce, you know what I'm saying, these days. But that goes along with masculinity, is being a man and keeping your word. Errol Spence is keeping his word. He said, I'm going to clean up my side of the street, and then I'm going to go over there and collect that shit from Bud. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as long as Bud still got that belt, after it, in the event that Errol Spence beats Yordenis Ugas, then we can get that fight. Or maybe Yordenis Ugas will upset the apple card and fuck around and get a decision over Errol Spence. And then, can you imagine? You know what I'm saying? And then him versus Bud, man, that'll change that man's life. Not that the Pacquiao win didn't change his life. You know what I'm saying? So put some respect on Ugas' name. We in for a great unification bout. Errol Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas. And then, if all is right in the world and with karma in the universe, Errol Spence beats Yordenis Ugas, and then we finally got the super fight that a lot of us been clamoring for years. I know I have, between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford. Shit, the revenue on that fight's gonna be stupid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not pocket watch. I'm just saying the revenue in that fight's gonna be stupid, and that's gonna be an amazing fight. Hopefully, they do it more than once. Or again, Yordenis Ugas upsets the apple cart, and we got Yordenis Ugas versus Terrence Bud Crawford for Undisputed. But again, you rocking with Sweet Science, you on the air. Subscribe to the channel. Beat the like button up. Make sure you hit the bell icon for all your post notifications. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and be safe, man. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm gone.